Let's take a peek at the things that I bought today at the church rummage sale, and I'll give you some reasons behind why I picked them up and give you some advice as to what you should look for as well. And I'm going to start with these books. I've talked about this before. When you go to church rummage sales, truly take a peek at the religious books, because just within these three books, so I filled 3 bags today, Brian and I, $5 fill-a-bag, so we spent $15, and I'm going to make that $15 back just in and more just in these 3 religious books. So take a peek at that first, and just if you're filling a bag, grab them. And I didn't do any research, but I was pretty confident that something would make me either the $5 or the 15. So beginning with this, Brian and I have made our money back already. There was an entire bag of patches and buttons, and I grabbed, a lot of people are into political buttons. This Tartan Ski School, there wasn't anything like it. I'm going to just name my price, and I'm going to sell those Perot 92 buttons individually. I peeked at the shoes, and I picked up those vintage bowling shoes, and what I was thinking is, who would wear them? But then you always have to keep in mind props, plays, school plays, dress up, Halloween. And then those white tap shoes were Capezio, and I just remembered those from my childhood. These two, it looked as though at this particular sale that a antique store was donating, or someone bought, or they were going out of business. And see all the dirt on top? That's why I picked them up. And Cracker Barrel. I just saw someone else do a video on people liking Cracker Barrel items. So I grabbed these two. This, I don't know, I saw on the bottom that it was marked. I couldn't read it, got it home, did a little research. I don't know if someone did some sort of artwork to this bottle, but I will show you in a screenshot what a glass one sold for with that logo on the bottom. This one I grabbed just because I think wicker baskets are interesting, and the little tusks, and I put some clothing around the tusks to get it, make it secure and get that home. But I don't know if you could market this as like a tissue box, but I thought it was good quality. Originally I saw one of these, I didn't know what it was, but then I saw a second to make a pair. So when I saw a pair, I threw them in the bag. Brian grabbed these Wheaties boxes, and they're collectible. Some, I'll show you, a miniature Wheaties box went for over $500. These are regular size. One is filled with cereal, the other two are just the boxes. And I would not be able to do this kind of uh, guesswork that turns into not guesswork if I didn't use Google Lens. It's part of the Google app. You just take a picture of the item with Google Lens, and it will tell you what the item is. And I'm going to clean this up, but I guarantee someone is going to want something that is pink and vintage like that. So this was a good find. These, I've sold this brand before, and I just thought the texture was pretty, and again, not a high risk item to purchase these 2 black vintage bowls. Religious artwork always sells well for me, and a good thing is when there is a description on the back. Always pick up at the church sales religious artwork. I sell a lot of it. This mid-century Victorian, I think it's either to hold a Kleenex box or hand towels. I sold a lipstick holder in this gold filigree a while back that did really well. So I always grab things like this. And what I think is, could you buy it today in the store? And you can't. So that's what I gravitate towards. I'm not a big clothing reseller. I did pick up some just kind of to fill the bag a little bit. I grab athletic wear. Brian grabbed this field jacket. I'll grab dresses, coats, wool, hats, and scarves. But I'm not thrilled with clothing. It gets returned, and gets returned for fit, and it gets worn and returned. Picked up these Wrangler jeans. Brian found those. They were in really impeccable, unworn shape, and I think that was a good find. One thing, and I'm going to do a video on this, I pick up the largest size bras that I can find, and I do really well with them. And I do sell most of them to men. So what I do is package it discreetly and ship it out and move on. But I guess if you wanted something like that and didn't feel comfortable going in a store, no judgment. So almost all, if not all, of my vintage large size lingerie gets sent out to men. And I find a lot of it at church rummage sales. So I've sold this before. It's a Victorian door pull. This one looks to be maybe handmade with this ribbon running through it. I didn't know what it was the first time I grabbed it. I knew now. So this one I think will do well. It has this bell on the bottom. Victorian vintage door pulls. Dolls. These were with the kids' items. I'd say if there's anything that is in keeping to where you live, this is Scandinavian dolls, whatever heritage and whatever religion or custom that is true to the area where you live, I would grab them. And these have the little Scandinavian shoes. So I found comps on this. This one was just interesting. I always look at the faces, and that was a good face. There wasn't any markings on it. Try and make sure that the hands are intact and the fingers. But again, it's just a collectible item. Don't know anything about it, but in the fill-a-bag situation, sure. Brian found that, some vintage perfume. It ended up being Avon. I'm not crazy about Avon. The other thing that I found Avon, it has to be really special. I didn't realize I didn't have my glasses on. I flipped that one over. I didn't have my glasses on about the perfume. I sell perfume on Mercari, not on eBay or Poshmark, but I would put it on Mercari. Not a big seller, and I don't even know if I'll list this one. Thought it was pretty, but has that Yadro look. But it ended up I didn't read the label, and it is Avon. Avon's not a big seller. Some pieces are, but Brian, we walk dogs on the Rover app, and Brian, we always are looking for those little dog walking bags. And he picked up a vintage, like saw, did he say, or no, vintage file for the garage. And then he said he was going to use this to take tools back and forth. We leave tools out in the backyard, garden tools. And he said that would be nice to be able to just put it in there to kind of protect it from the elements. So this is my haul from today. I didn't realize that there would be church rummage sales yet in Minnesota, but I joined a Facebook group that somebody culminates and gathers all of the sales and posts it to one site. I never would have found it if not for this wonderful human who does all the work for us. So I would encourage you to join your local Facebook group that shows you each week yard sales, rummage sales, garage sales, church sales. And he said one more for the season. And it was a beautiful day today. So I did great. Wasn't planning on going. We headed out this morning, and I will make up the money that we spent today, just $15 on these books. Make sure you keep track of your mileage. Make sure you either just write it down when you get home, print out a receipt. You're going to want to have proof that you bought all of these things and what you spent at the rummage sale. This hat, I've sold this brand before, Bronner. I sell a lot of hats, and what I do when I stick things in the bag is I will stuff the innards with items. I will put things inside of here, of course, put things inside of those, so that helps to kind of stuff your bag full when you're outsourcing. So I did good. I'd encourage you to check out church rummage sales if you have them in your area, or if you're looking at the thrift store or garage sales. These are the kinds of things that I pick up and some of the reasons behind why.